Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm Dakota with my co-host Jordan, and today it's time for another speculation episode. We're going to be talking about what we expect in the new cel-shaded Spider-Man 2-packs coming out. So we've heard twice now that it is confirmed that all of those like VHS style Spider-Man cel-shaded figures are going to be coming in 2-packs. So today we're going to speculate and kind of see which characters we'd like to see, which characters we think we're going to see, and which characters we really hope we don't see. Jordan, we've got
So just
the
to
2-pack.
preface, right? Yeah, the Carnage and Symbiote Spidey.
That I think for both of us is a pass.
Yeah,
And I think they're good. They're decent options. They're not my favorites, but I can see where they're at.
I would say it makes sense for me more so the Carnage, just because like the last one they had, but I don't know. He's not really even that expensive. The Monster Venom wave.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I think if you get him sealed, maybe he's expensive, but loose, he's not at all.
So yeah, I don't know. That one actually doesn't make as much sense. But I think the Symbiote Spider-Man, I'm a little upset about just because that's exactly what I wanted out of the other symbiote.
Yep.
And now this one has a toe hinge, and it looks like, I assume then it's the pinless.
Yeah, I think it's the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man just painted.
So it's like
I really think that one was kind of their delivery of it was off. I think if they would have shuffled these around and put that one later, so it's like, okay, the symbiote came out like a year and a half ago. Like, it makes sense that like they would put this out again, but it's like that feels too fresh to be like, oh, here's a symbiote Spider-Man, and here's the next one. So it's like, if they would have spaced that out, I would have been much happier and probably more likely to buy it. But I've got my symbiote Spider-Man up there, and I'm pretty happy with him. So I don't really feel the need for this one.
That's a good point, and I think I probably would have been happier had they rearranged it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen like cel shaded ones in the groups. I think I've sent it to you. That looks like way better.
Yeah.
I think than
I agree.
Like, it has way more cel. Like, if you're gonna do cel shading, just do it. So maybe I'll get Sam to do some customizing help.
Yeah.
She recently, I got her the Gundam markers, so kind of finally gonna maybe do that shocker.
You got silver?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I might bring my Asbat down to paint up his claws.
I have both.
Very cool. All right, so I think before we get into the heroes and villains, let's talk about some civilians that we kind of expect to see. I really think we're going to see some combination, probably not all of these, but I think there's going to be some combination of Mary Jane, Peter Parker, J. Jonah Jameson, and Aunt May. There's some other civilians that you could kind of throw into the mix, like Robbie.
I was going to say Robbie.
Like, even like a civilian.
What about Felicia Hardy?
I was going to say Felicia Hardy would be a good one. I was even going to say Aunt May's aunt, or not Aunt May's aunt, but Mary Jane's aunt, or whatever. Just because like she's in the show quite a bit, but like who really cares about a figure of that? Anna, yes.
What about an Uncle Ben?
Is he even like in the show for more than?
Yeah, like he's in like flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I would take.
That we don't have an Uncle Ben, but
I would buy an Uncle Ben action figure, 100%.
Nobody has died more than Uncle Ben, and
maybe that's a
Bruce Wayne's parents.
Or do like a army build Uncle Ben scene where it's just they're all in heaven and they're welcoming the new one, so he just keeps getting killed every 3 years. I don't know.
Yeah, which
is that a hot take? Wanting an Uncle Ben?
I think that's I don't think it's a hot take on wanting one. I think it's a hot take on getting it in these VHSs.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do I think the pairings would be?
Yeah, or like even if these were going to come out, like of these 4, I think at most we're going to get 2 of them. Which 2 do you think we're going to see?
You didn't say J. Jonah, did you?
Yeah. Mary Jane, Peter Parker, J. Jonah, Aunt May.
And then Aunt May. Okay. I definitely could see Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. You're talking like with the polo,
right?
Blue or the purple and green and white,
like purple and turquoise or something.
Such like a '90s shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to see that, and Mary Jane. I think those are 2 very likely.
Yellow
I
sweater
would
Mary Jane.
say, yeah, those are like my top two most likely. And then probably after that would be, I'd see Aunt May maybe before J. Jonah, just because we got
Interesting.
him.
Yeah.
And there's really no Aunt May's. And Aunt May would be a good one to throw in with, like, I think it'd be funny if you did her with, like, a battle armor Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're getting the bulk with Doc Ock, but Aunt May's kind of, and then there's the whole, wedding storyline with that. So
Right.
I think that would be pretty good. But J. Jonah, I guess you could put him in the blue suit like he has in the show, so that's a little different. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think because we had kind of talked about like if they did give us these civilians, would they like toss them in with like a bigger figure like Doc Ock, or would we actually get like a Mary Jane Peter Parker 2-pack? Which I think if it's those two, that seems pretty likely to me. Just because I could imagine that like box art being kind of cool. And I think people are really wanting that like yellow sweater Mary Jane at least. So I think I would probably put Mary Jane on like the number one most likely.
Okay.
And then maybe a Peter Parker, because we've gotten that retro Peter Parker, kind of like we got the retro J. Jonah Jameson. But their animated series styles are a little different. So that's where...
Yeah.
And those are older retros where those were like wave one, I think. So I could see them redoing those. And that's why I don't think any of these like retros that they've given us are off the table, because we just had Symbiote Spider-Man and we're getting him again.
Yeah.
So nothing's necessarily off the table, although I would like some of it to be off the table. But I do think it's going to go Mary Jane, Peter Parker. I would almost think J. Jonah Jameson would be third likely, and Aunt May would be last, just because I don't see Hasbro wanting to do that. And like they could reuse a suited body for J. Jonah Jameson, so it'd be easier for them to do that. But that's my assumption.
Yeah.
Let's get into some heroes. So, we'll probably go down the list a little bit slower on this one. But I think just right off the bat, are they really going to do a VHS style Spider-Man series without giving us a red and blue Spider-Man? A, I hope so. B,
oh man,
probably not. Because
so you think that will be like the animated style, but truly that not?
I guess, but it's like,
so that just defeats the whole point of the Walmart one.
I agree. Like, and that's the thing too, is like we're so flooded with Spider-Mans, but then you can be like, oh, but these are going to be cell shaded. It's like, oh, well, that retro is cell shaded, so it's.
But this one's more cell shaded,
right? But
or the cell shading is better.
And I don't even know how they would make it better, because I would imagine it'd be more. It's just more of the same, but maybe like putting it on like the Renew Your Vows body, because what is the cell shaded retro?
Yeah, that's my one concern. Is I think isn't it on the Amazing Fantasy body?
The cell shaded one? Maybe it is.
So, or
leave us a comment.
Yeah, the not the the Amazing Friends one.
That is, or the Amazing Friends is the Amazing Fantasy.
Then I think it's that.
Wow.
Which now that I'm thinking about it is like, I don't know if I like that size.
Yeah. Leave us a comment down below. Tell us which body that new cell shaded one is, because honestly, as long as that's not the Pizza Spider-Man body, that's okay. That one just is garbage now. But yeah, I don't know, man. I know you're excited about that cell shaded one. I'm less excited about it. That stomach looks weird to me still. I can't get over it, and I don't know what it is necessarily, but
I thought you love it on the Amazing Fantasy one.
Yeah, but it doesn't look as weird. Like there's something with the ab crunch that like doesn't line up with the spider webbing. It's like they put it like too low on his hips or something, where like usually I don't care about the paint breaking up with the sculpt.
That seems oddly specific for you.
I agree, but I don't know. I'll send you one of the review videos. I think it was Dan Who or somebody that had it that reviewed it, and it just looked odd every time he posed it. So, but anyway, I think I don't know what Spider-Man we would get. I don't know how they would do it, but I just imagine they're going to give it to us because it's like they have them already. It'd be cheap for him to throw in, and it makes sense.
What if you did like a half Peter Parker? Well, I guess they already did that with the face, but
Yeah.
like when he's like
The whole
pulling it.
like busting out
I
of
don't know.
his polo with
Yeah, like
the
maybe he's got
spider
his
suit
pants
underneath.
and no, they wouldn't do that.
No, they
But
wouldn't.
yeah, how did he do that in the show? By the way, did he just roll his sleeves all the way up?
I can't remember. I got to go back and rewatch it.
Because in the comics, I never remember seeing Peter Parker with short sleeves because it's like he's got the suit
Right.
on.
Mm-hmm.
And I always
Yeah.
wondered that what Spider-Man does in the summertime.
Sweats.
So yeah, I
All right.
could
So
see
I was gonna say
as
I
far
think I
as
could see them putting a
yeah,
Spider-Man and Mary Jane together.
yeah.
Like that's how I could see Mary Jane coming. If it wasn't with a Peter Parker, it'd be with a regular Spider-Man.
I'm almost leaning towards that.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately.
maybe Peter Parker and Aunt May.
Yeah. Maybe.
I'm gonna say that,
You're gonna go Peter Parker, Aunt May.
and then Spider-Man, Mary Jane. Boom.
All right. Well, we're a
Lock it
little
in.
out of order here, but we could talk about how many we think there's actually gonna be.
Oh yeah.
Because like let's recap the X-Men. We had Wolverine, Jubilee, Storm, Jean,
Sinister.
Sinister,
Now
Mystique,
Cyclops.
Cyclops, and Morph.
Mystique. It's 8.
8.
So
So that would be
maybe
4
two
2-packs. I could see them giving us 5 2-packs.
Oh yeah, I could
Just
see 5
because
2-packs.
giving us more, because it's only a 2-pack and they could be putting them out. That's
Yeah.
my assumption. But I think with that extra 5-pack means you're probably going to get some figures in there you don't care about, like a Spider-Man that you probably already have 3 of. So you think that 2 of those are going to be like we're going to get 3 civilians and 2 2-packs? That just seems like too much, and then we're going to be left without like. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying then we don't have the option for so many other cool people to be made into figures.
Because they'll put those ones out as a single release, cell shaded retro later.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that would be I actually would kind of prefer some of these to be in
I mean,
the
it's
like
the fact,
retro
aren't we
card.
getting X-Men 97 figures?
That's the leak anyway. The rumors from
Like,
Rectangular.
if we get those right after getting the retro VH, like, does that mean, like, are those just going to be in the same style, probably?
I mean, we don't really know if it's going to be on the retro like window card, like the Spider-Man figures. Like, we don't know if it's going to be like looking like this, or if it's going to be in the windowless packaging. If it's going to be part of a wave, we don't really know anything. So, kind of up in the air.
I guess I'm erring on the side of caution of not getting incredibly excited because, like,
Right.
obviously, there's like pie in the sky ones I'd want, but I'm like,
Unlikely.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you said, I see it more likely where it's like, here's one you want, and one you gotta get stuck with.
Yeah. All right, let's continue down the list of heroes. I think another one that's equal parts likely and unlikely is a Madam Web. Just because, are they really going to give you a Madam Web without the chair? But also, probably. But the chair is not going to fit in one of those VHS style boxes.
No.
So I could see, especially with like the cell shading, that would be a cool figure. But I'm leaning more towards that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
One that I think is a bit more likely would be a Punisher with the trench coat, because he's a pretty big part in the series, at least for a season. And I think people would like that style of Punisher.
Yeah.
So more likely,
kind of in that older retro they did style. You think they would just give us the same body?
Maybe.
Throw a
I don't know.
trench coat on them.
I mean, I could see them reusing the trench coat from Spider-Man Noir. Kind of have it blown open, and I mean, I would kind of hope it goes that way, just because there's more posability with it. But I mean, I'm not really, we're just speculating here.
Yeah, I'd say Morbius. I think that was one that do we count him as I guess he's kind of
he's hero
bit of both,
villainish.
isn't he?
Yeah, that is. He kind of is both. But no, I agree.
His
I
style
think
with the trench coat and like the slicked hair and the suckers on his hands.
Yeah, I think Morbius is pretty high on the likely list. One that I'm gonna go out and say is like a for sure guarantee take it to the bank is going to be the Daredevil, because I've seen some people wanting like the cell shaded Daredevil, and I think that would be cool. And they've got the new 3-pack Daredevil with the toe hinge, and I could see them reusing that and just cell shading it and putting it in this pack.
That just makes me not want that one then.
You don't want the cell shaded?
No, I don't want the 3-pack.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't want the 3-pack because I'm banking on them putting them out single released.
I'm going to say no. Yeah, I don't know about
You don't think
Daredevil.
there's going to be a Daredevil? I guarantee you they're going to put out a Daredevil with the toe hinge single released at some point.
But I'm not going to say not in the VHS 2-packs.
But did you not see me just hold up the VHS of...
Yeah, but...
This is a physical VHS. It's got Daredevil on it.
We'll,
He's cell shaded.
We'll fill out the roster, and then we can start doing... We'll pick from the pool.
Another one that you were thinking would be Blade. How likely...
Yeah.
How much are you thinking that one? Is that...
I mean...
I don't necessarily remember him a ton in the show.
But think about it. What was the last Blade? Man-Thing?
Yeah.
That's been what? It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's also the fact the Blade movie's coming. Not that they always cross synergy, but it could be like, hey, here's a soft to get people interested in Blade.
True.
I think the ultimate... I think it'd be cool would be a Blade Morbius 2-pack. I don't think that'll happen. But I don't know, though. They were both pretty important characters in the same story, weren't they?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I think Punisher was kind of along those lines, possibly. He was one of the episodes around that time. I don't know if it was like they ever crossed over.
Dude, there's no way. I don't think we're getting Punisher or Daredevil. I'm going to say no to both of those.
Okay. Let's see. Which other ones were we expecting? I think maybe a Black Cat, because Black Cat plays a pretty good part in the show. But we did have Black Cat on the retro card already, and we had another one before that, or another 2 before that. Yeah. Not necessarily both animated styles, but really what more are you going to do other than cell shade it?
Yeah, I guarantee you that's probably going to be one. Cell shaded Black Cat. Just the same mold from the retros, painted slightly different.
Well, I don't have that one, so maybe they would update her and give her the double jointed pinless arms and legs, like Shriek body type stuff. That is probably a little helpful. I should just expect.
You should expect the same retro body painted.
Very true. All right. Well, maybe then that'll bring the value of the retro down, and I'll pick that one up finally, because that's one that I don't have. But
yeah, same.
Yeah, no, that is unfortunately, I think, a pretty strong possibility. Let's see. There is like I think it's a 2-part episode, maybe more, but where they have all of the Spider-Mans teaming up from kind of like the first Spider-Verse. So you've got all the options there. I think the most likely of those Spider-Men is either a Ben Reilly, which I think is the most likely. I think another cool option would be that one Spider-Man with the like Doc Ock arms.
I don't think we're going to get that.
I agree. I don't think that would happen, but I could just see that's like kind of one of those figures that they haven't made that I think a lot of people would be like, oh, that's a cool Spider-Man to get.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think it's happening, but I don't think they would make any of those other, like, we're not going to get another armored Spider-Man or anything like that.
What about a Spider Carnage?
I think a Spider Carnage would be...
Because you could use Spider-Man base body, and you could probably retool the Venom head, remember? Because doesn't he have those big, like...
Yeah.
You know, where he's got the veins, and I don't know. I could see them retooling that. And I could see that one getting paired with one that you just don't want at all. Because that Spider Carnage sells still. I mean, at least, I don't know if it still does, but it was even after the retro came out, because people wanted the Spider Carnage part.
Yeah, I haven't even tried to put the Spider Carnage on my new retro.
I don't think I have either.
Ben Reilly.
I think I may have sold my Spider Carnage.
I think you did. I don't know if you had doubles. But
I just hated that body.
Yeah, the body's not great. But I just don't want to give up the Spider Carnage, which I'm probably going to hold on to it until they make a new one, and then the one that I could sell is going to drop in value.
Might be time to sell, because inside line, Jordan tells you Spider Carnage is coming.
I think the last hero I've got on my list of possibilities would be a 6-arm Spider-Man, because they've given us that 6-arm Spider-Man before, but I know people really didn't love it because I don't think there was any ab
no ab
articulation.
crunch.
But I think they've gotten a lot better with their like multi-armed figures because we've got that Spiral coming out, which I've seen some reviews and it looks like all of her arms are very posable. She's still got
Sugar Man.
Sugar Man's a little unfair because he's huge. But yeah, no. I think that one would be probably expensive because they'd have to retool a male body only for that. So I don't know, maybe, but I hope not because I don't really care to get that.
I think the only variant Spider-Man could be Spider-Carnage.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, now let's get into the fun stuff. I think the fun stuff, the villains. I wouldn't be surprised if at least half of the figures they put out are going to be villains, and it's probably going to be even more than that. Because like the first one, they've got like hero versus villain. It's like a versus card. But I would almost hope that they don't give us any more versus packs. Like I hope it's just heroes with heroes, villains with villains. Because the way they have the box set up is like Carnage facing Spider-Man. And if you're going to like set it up kind of like the X-Men where it's heroes facing villains, you're going to give us 2 packs that are like sealed boxes and they're just going to be facing each other and it's just going to be kind of down the shelf that way. Or you're going to get a 2-pack of heroes and a 2-pack of villains and some people are facing, give me some symmetry on my shelf, okay? That's what I'm saying. Anyway. What give us a villain you think is going to be coming, Jordan?
I mean, one that I hope is coming is Kraven.
Yep.
I mean, that was on my wish list, wasn't it? Earlier this year when we said most anticipated. Like, I really want a Kraven. I'm going to say we might get a Kraven.
I have the Rhino Kraven sealed in a protector for sale. If you're interested, I'll sell it to you for top dollar. Sticker on it says $90. I'll sell it to you for $80.
Kraven, I think, would be great, and I'll decide that I think we might see it.
Yeah, I think
that one is because they're gonna need at least one villain that's like a boom, like you want this one, right?
Right.
And I think that'd be Kraven.
Yeah, I think he's at the top of my list of like I probably have 3 that I'm like guarantee these even more so than I guarantee Daredevil, and Kraven is one of those 3. The other one that I think is probably I'm gonna say this is like a for sure we're gonna get this is a Chameleon, but I could also see like this is just a cheap way to give us like an extra figure without actually giving us a figure is if they just gave us a 2-pack with Chameleon's belt put in there, because then Chameleon could be anybody. Because in the show,
Chameleon has like that suit with
Chameleon, for sure, he's a different figure. But like when he like powers on and like, then you could just kind of say like, oh,
I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad if they do that.
I agree. I could just see it being like, oh, instead of that, we're going to give you this stuff. And it's like, as long as it was like cool figures to like go along with it. Like if they gave you a 2-pack of Kraven and Doc Ock and it came with the accessory of a Chameleon belt, okay. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to give you a full Chameleon.
That seems a little too like cerebral to me. That
True.
I don't think they would do that.
Yeah.
And I don't think they do a regular Chameleon because that's just too much new tooling, I think.
You don't think they would do Chameleon at all?
I'm going to say no.
All right, I'm going to say he's a for sure.
All right.
But then the other one you mentioned that I think is another almost positive, if not in this, it could be a retro card, but the like suited up Doc Ock.
Yeah.
I think that's going to depend, because they've been kind of talking about bendy wires forever, and like they've mentioned several times that they know people want a bendy wire Doc Ock. Honestly, I don't even know if I want a bendy wire Doc Ock.
I don't think I do. I wouldn't want him if he's bendy wire.
Even if it's the suited up one, the battle armor.
I like the one I have, man. I like the Rhino. I didn't even get the silk one. I have the Rhino wave, and I'm pretty happy with him.
The SPDR wave?
Or not Rhino. Yeah, sorry. The SPDR wave.
Okay. And you've got, what coat do you have on him up there? Is that
That's the
Beast?
Toy Biz. Toy
Oh,
Biz
okay.
Doc Ock coat.
Okay. That's what I
So,
was.
because it
Because
already
that's
had
why I
holes,
thought.
so I cut it. So,
Nice. Yeah, because I thought it
pretty.
was the Toy Biz one up there, but nice.
No, that's,
Good
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, there's a little hack for you, collectors. If you can find an old, busted up Doc Ock, go for it.
So I don't know, but
Yeah,
that's the thing too, is like I don't really want a Doc Ock that has like sculpted tentacles, which like I
yeah.
agree that the old one is pretty decent, like the 2-pack or the SPDR Wave one is pretty good. But I agree, I don't want a bendy wire Doc Ock. And I guess we're in the minority there because everybody else does, but I just
Yeah.
like, especially maybe I'm
I
like
just
judging it
don't.
based off of Toy Biz, but like those Sentinel and Omega Red tentacle things, you could bend those and they always snapped on the inside.
Even like the new lizard bendy wire tail, I'm not too
That's true.
impressed with.
No, I'm not either. It yeah,
So
it doesn't make
I
sense
don't
to
know if the
for I don't know.
technology is there yet for Doc Ock's tentacles. I don't know what technology they need, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't think it's. I don't think it's. The answer is bendy wire.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't think so either.
So I don't think they'd even give us that Doc Ock in this set. I
Wow.
don't
All right.
personally.
We are disagreeing on our for sure's here. I like it.
All right.
Give us another villain you think.
Young Vulture.
Yep. That's
The
one
one
that I
with the
hope we
dark
don't
hair.
get because I have no interest in that.
That's what they're gonna give you then. Probably put him with Craven. No, that'd be too good. I don't know. Maybe I'm just so salty because it's even like Spider-Man or Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage doesn't really even make sense either.
No, it kind
Like,
of doesn't.
sure they're enemies, but like there's not an iconic episode where he has the symbiote suit because he has the symbiote and then it goes to Eddie Brock and then Eddie Brock spawns Carnage.
Right.
So like,
Like it would make more sense to give like Carnage with like Baron Mordo or something like that. Because that's how he like
right,
he's the one that like
yeah,
breaks him out of prison and is like, "Oh, here you go."
right,
Like freedom.
yeah. It's just like I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're gonna go that route of like this pairing makes perfect sense. It might
Right.
just be like random, which
Yeah.
I think would be stupid to be like, here's Vulture and Aunt May, but like I could see it.
Yeah. Very true. Another one that bringing back into the bendy wire, which we can't judge this bendy wire yet, but I guess maybe we
Oh
can.
man, is it what I think you're gonna say?
Could you see a scorpion being re-released
Oh
cell shaded?
gosh, yes I could. I was gonna say Jay Jonah and Scorpion. Imagine like a just totally worthless 2-pack with the
I
bendy
don't know.
wire.
I'd kind of like to get a Jay Jonah.
Oh
If Jay
my
Jonah came with
gosh.
somebody cool, I wouldn't be too upset about getting him. But I agree. If he came with a scorpion, I'd be like, don't need it.
But if they were doing like things that make sense, they would do that because he
Right.
remember funds the operation or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think Scorpion could be likely. I'd be very upset because
Mhm.
it's like the other one isn't even out yet.
Yeah. I mean, I think this one's maybe less likely of a redo. Like, I could see them doing like older retros and remaking them, but this one being so brand new. But that's the thing is like that Symbiote Spider-Man was brand new and now it's getting redone. So it's maybe we're harping on it
That's
too
what
much
I'm
of the
saying,
same
dude.
thing.
Is
But
my threshold for what I expect is very tempered
mhm.
because I don't know. Like in my understanding, the retro line was the animated series line.
Right. I
I
agree.
didn't think they were doing retros and then they're going to launch an animated series line
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, well, what were the point of these retro? What were they retro of? Just retro your vision for that? Because it's like you do notice with like Scorpion, it's not quite the show one,
Mm-hmm.
but like Venom is spot on.
Yeah.
But then like Mary Jane doesn't wear that outfit.
Right. Is
I
Gwen
don't know.
Stacy even in the show?
I don't even think she's in the show. They have Felicia Hardy,
Yeah.
but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always been like not clear what the line is. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
weird that they're suddenly saying, "Well, this is the animated series line," which is kind of like
Yeah.
because people would have not everyone, but a lot of people might have waited for the animated series.
Yeah, probably.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
I said earlier, what if they gave us the Hobgoblin?
I was just gonna say, like, bringing up some of those other ones that, like, I could see them redoing and giving us something that's just slightly different would
Oh
be
man,
Hobgoblin, Shocker. Those are probably my two, like, ones that people probably don't want, is Hobgoblin and Shocker, because those are both like crazy cheap right now. But I could see them
yeah,
giving you, like you said, you want the Hobgoblin with the like more
ridges
accurate
on his
face
like,
and the more accurate
yeah,
glider, because you can get those things from a custom like maker, but it's going to cost you like twice the cost of the figure to get
yeah,
the right head and glider. Same thing with Shocker. You can buy your Shocker and paint your lines on him, or they're going to put him out now with the lines painted on him and like some cell shading. I don't know.
man, I really hope not.
I agree. I mean, I hope not too, but that's the thing, is like Hasbro has kind of put us in this position of like having our expectations so low that we're just expecting total crap. Some things that I think I think one
I think a lot of people might agree. If I mean, I don't know. I feel like the pulse of the collectors are kind of being like, as far as the response. I don't know though. I'm not sure if as many people are as upset about this as we are.
yeah,
Because
maybe
I've seen
not.
people be pretty stoked about like, oh, this new Carnage is sick, or like, oh, this new symbiote Spidey. Which, like, if you need those
Mm-hmm.
for your collection, or if you miss the symbiote, I don't know though. I don't know how you can't be upset about the symbiote Spider-Man
I
thing.
kind of agree. Um, let's see, some older retros that I think would be people would accept and like be kind of excited about would be Mysterio and Electro and a
Yeah.
Green Goblin. I don't know exactly what you would do other than cell shade them a little bit to make them retro, or to make them like animated series, but I think those ones at least go expensive enough that it kind of makes sense to like
Well,
reissue, especially Green Goblin.
you had the idea of Goblin just being on the Hobgoblin
Right.
body, so it's
Yeah.
not scaled. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like, because he's not scaled in the show, is he? I don't think he is.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's just like a green jumpsuit type thing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Which I've honestly been kind of on the fence about selling my Green Goblin, just because he's still so expensive, and like I guarantee you, whether it's this or later, they're gonna give you another Green Goblin at some point. So
I might, of those three. So you just said Electro, Mysterio, Goblin, and
hmm
those are three. I'm gonna go with Goblin. I think might
yeah,
be the most likely.
yeah. I mean that would make sense. I mean, it would be cool to
He's
get
gonna
a
come with
new
a
one.
figure that's crap, but
That's kind of what I was trying to think of, like who he would come with if it was like Green Goblin,
Peter,
and
Peter Parker.
yeah, that'd be all right. I'd get that 2-pack. I was thinking maybe Mary
No, yeah.
Jane, but probably not Mary Jane. I don't know.
Peter Parker, I would want. So
You're gonna get a
maybe,
Green Goblin and Harry Osborn.
oh man, could you that? Oof. I could see them making you happy with Green Goblin, Peter Parker. That would
Yeah.
kind of make sense, because isn't that? I don't know if that's in the show, but at least in the comics, that's the whole right. He
Mm-hmm.
discovers his secret identity. So like,
Right.
that could be a cool box art too. Like you have him on like the wall, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I think.
think that one could happen.
Mm-hmm.
I see them taking more time on Electro and Mysterio.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like the retros look like how they look in the show. I think I don't know if there's
Yeah.
any difference in Electro, and I don't think there's any difference in Mysterio at all.
Yeah, Mysterio looks exactly this, even down. Well, does it?
I
Doesn't he
think
have more like purple?
maybe he's
I thought
got
he had
like a
more
belt or
purple on him.
something in the show,
Yeah, he might have a belt.
but
I
I
don't
mean
know.
he's got the purple cape, he's got the gold like hands and feet. So
Yeah,
this one's better than the Lizard Wave for sure, as far as like cartoon style.
yeah.
Let's see. We'll go with some other like your kind of your pie in the sky, Jordan. You want to bring that one
Yeah.
up?
Oh yeah, my man spider.
Yeah.
That's my like dream. I'm not crazy enough to hope that that
Okay, I was gonna
happens.
say.
I don't think it'll happen, but I mean, I would love if it did. Like, that would be incredible, but I don't see it happening. Yeah, dude, Mysterio looks significantly different.
Oh, does he?
In the show.
Okay.
You can throw up a picture of him on the audio, but he doesn't have like the big rectangular gauntlets.
Okay.
They're just flat yellow gloves, and he's a much lighter green, and he's got that belt with like the red orb, or not orb, little dot in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
Dang it, I could see that one.
Yeah. Then I think the last one that I think is on a lot of people's wish list is the Alistair Smythe. Which, again, it's like, are you going to give him without the chair? Because, I mean, he doesn't always have the chair, but, like, it's kind of like his signature thing is he's always on that, like, hover chair, kind of like Professor X, but bigger. So, I don't know. I mean, I could see him, like, just giving it to you and then, like, 3D printers doing the chair or something like that. Because that would be cool. And I think that's a character, like, I've seen tons of people want it, and especially if you could pour on some, like, blast effects onto his like little, I don't even know what those back things are called. They're not antennas, but whatever those things are. Because doesn't he shoot like lasers out of those?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting a Smythe though.
No, that would be a lot of like, they would need
too much
new
work.
Arms, new legs, new upper torso at least, or at least somehow they need to put those things on. That I think that would be on a lot of people's list of what they're hoping. I've seen people saying they wish it was that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I think, so what did we say? We said 5 2-packs, so 10 characters. I think people's dreams would be, let's see, probably Kraven, Chameleon, Alistair Smythe, Doc Ock, Man-Spider, Morbius. I'm going to say Blade, Punisher, Daredevil, and either Madam Web or Green Goblin.
Yeah, I disagree with a lot of those.
That definitely is not going to be the case.
Oh, you're saying that's what people would want to happen.
That would be like the dream. This is what comes out, and like everybody is blown away. Hasbro gets an A+ for the day. What are your 10 characters that you think are actually going to be coming, Jordan?
I'm going to say Peter Parker, Mary Jane.
Okay.
Do I really want to throw in Aunt May? It's a hot take. I'll throw in Aunt May. 3 civilians. Okay, so we get how many? I get 10 characters?
10 characters.
Okay, so those 3, I'm going to say Morbius, Blade, Vulture, and Green Goblin, Scorpion, Shocker, and maybe if we're lucky, Kraven.
Okay. Wow. Now that those are good guesses, because like I agree, some of those where I was like, oh no, please no, but that's exactly how it's gonna go. So I think mine, I'm gonna go.
Maybe, I don't know. I could tweet that if I reflect on it, but that's kind of my like feel.
Yeah. Just off the cuff.
Yeah.
I would expect, and I'm a little bit, I have all these written down that we mentioned, so you had to remember them all. I would say Mary Jane, Peter Parker also. I'm going to put a Spider-Man in there too, like regular classic Spider-Man, just because that's what they're going to do, and
man, I guess I'm just really hoping not, because that would feel so disrespectful.
I agree. I think we're going to get a Punisher and a Daredevil. I think we're going to get Kraven, Chameleon, Green Goblin, Black Cat.
Oh, I forgot about Black Cat.
And Mysterio. And that's even too good. Like that, those all make too much sense to be getting.
You had a couple bangers right in a row there. I was like, no, that's too many.
No, there's no way.
I forgot about Black Cat. Black Cat, I think, is very, very possible.
Yeah. What are your 3 that you're like not like these are going to be junk, but like 3 good ones that they're going to give us? Like these, you're like, I'm hopeful this is possible and
It's
likely.
possible, and I want it.
Yeah, or at least
I'd
most
say
people would want it.
okay. Yeah, I'd say Craven
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I think Peter Parker
Mm-hmm.
and Craven, Peter Parker. What was another one I said? I don't think
Spider
Morbius would
Carnage,
be
you
like a
think?
top.
Not
That would be
Morbius.
cool, but I don't think. Now I'm trying to remember my 10. Um,
I mean, it doesn't even have to be within your 10.
yeah. No, I think the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
I'd say Green Goblin,
I would
Craven,
love
and
that.
Peter Parker. Because I think
My,
Green Goblin, like you said, is kind of hard to
mm-hmm.
get, and it's not quite the animated version. Craven, again, same thing, kind of higher dollar, and then Peter Parker, we don't have one. So
Yeah. I'm going to say my 3 that I'm going to be banking on for sure. Craven, Chameleon, Daredevil. I think they're coming. I think Daredevil is going to be like heavily cell shaded, like Mr. Sinister was, like tons of black paint on him.
I hope I'm wrong, but
We'll see. Time will
I don't
tell.
think we'll see him. This will be a really fun one to go back and check.
Yeah, very true.
Because these are like pretty solid. I don't know. I just want to have ones that like. It'd be really cool to see to do a follow up later to be like which ones are
we
there.
should, yeah, definitely. So
we'd love to.
We're going to have to wait a year to do it.
I know.
But
I'd like to hear everybody's rankings too and comments.
I was going to say, I would love to hear some of the listeners. Like, was there people that we missed? I'm sure we missed somebody. I mean, the show is pretty long. Like, it's 4 or 5 seasons. There's plenty of characters. Like, I mean, at some point, there's like they do the what is that? Where they all go and fight the heroes and the villains.
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars, yeah. So you've got
I thought about those in the beginning,
X-Men.
but I feel like that'd be too much of a can of worms to open up.
Right. Exactly. Like, and that would probably be like its own line to do like a Secret Wars, kind of like on the retro card, like you said.
Somebody on this podcast had that idea.
So yeah, I think that's probably more likely for Secret Wars, but I would love to hear like listeners, like, what do you think? Like, what are your like 3 for sures? What are some that we missed? What are some that you're like, there's absolutely no way they ever do that? Are we being too negative? Are we being too positive? We're expecting way too much out of them, or we're just being negative Nellies
way
about
too
everything.
Generous.
But yeah, leave us a comment. Tell us. We respond to all the comments. Even if you leave me some comment that's unrespondable to, I'll respond to it somehow.
Didn't we have somebody say that we shouldn't be talking or less of us talking?
No, it was something about like all this podcast is these guys talking and we can't even see the Build-A-Figures or something like that. They said something about like bad content. I said, thanks for your input, Dave. So
what if Dave wins our poster?
I doubt he subscribed if he thinks we've got bad content. But hey, who knows? That would be, I don't know. I'd be so sad if Dave won our giveaway.
Oh, maybe that'll win him over.
Yeah, maybe.
His cold Scrooge heart.
I'd just rather give it to one of our loyal listeners that's actually a fan and happy to listen, leaving us good comments. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up.
Or constructive criticism, because we like that too.
Very true.
But we also like constructive compliments.
That's going to wrap it up for our Spider-Man look into the future, kind of a wish list and speculation episode.
VHS predictions.
Again, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. And until next time, stay strong.